If you're dreaming of a wedding that feels as luxurious as it also does sustainable, then you are not alone. I felt exactly the same when it came to my wedding day. And the harsh truth is that weddings are not really environmentally friendly. In fact, the average wedding creates 5 times the carbon footprint of an entire year's worth of daily life in just one day. Crazy. But let's be honest, when you hear the word sustainable wedding, your mind probably jumps to earthy, rustic decor or pared back garden parties. But sustainability does not have to mean compromising on luxury. The good news is eco-luxury weddings are not only possible, they're gaining serious momentum. More and more suppliers and brands are embracing sustainability without sacrificing beauty or quality. That means that you can have a wedding that feels just as incredible as it looks and feel really good about it too. The most elegant weddings I've seen are also some of the most sustainably minded. In this video, part 1 of a 2-part sustainably luxury wedding series, I'm going into some serious depth about every single aspect of your celebration and the big and little ways that you can minimize the environmental impact. From the questions to ask your venue and the food changes that you can make, to fashion and even decor choices that are going to reduce your waste without losing that style. We are covering all bases. And of course, if there's anything that I miss and any other tips that you want to add, please share those in the comments because I know so many other brides will love to hear them. Welcome back, my loves, to the Curated Wedding. I'm Nazlee and I run Offly Place, an award-winning wedding venue where we've hosted hundreds of beautiful wedding days. I've also recently gotten married myself, so I'll be unveiling all my insider secrets and top tips from both sides of the aisle so that we can discuss the art of a curated wedding. So if you're interested, hit the subscribe button as well as the bell to be notified of my weekly wedding tips so that you do not miss a thing. So an eco-friendly wedding with a luxury feel, is it even possible? I think it definitely is, but it's all about making the decisions that work for you and opting for the little changes that are going to add up to that really big difference. Basically, it means being really intentional and really thoughtful about all of your choices. The thing that I love the most about opting to make your wedding a little bit more eco-friendly is that it adds a whole extra special layer of significance to your wedding day. You're not just creating beautiful memories, you're also making decisions that reflect your personal values and leaving a positive impact. And I really do think you'll find that once done right, you can add that extra level of originality and creativity, which is going to make your wedding really shine. So let's dive right into my breakdown of how to have a beautifully curated, stylish, eco-luxury wedding that is just as sustainable as it is spectacular. And trust me, it's easier than you think. Venue. One of the simplest and most effective ways to make your wedding venue more sustainable is by choosing a venue that already offers natural beauty and character. The more your setting speaks for itself, the less you're going to need to bring in any extra decor or elevate the space. Outdoor venues, so think for example gardens, woodlands and beaches, are perfect for this. When nature is your backdrop, it takes far less to create a beautiful setting. Even historical venues or architecturally rich buildings provide a deep, built-in atmosphere that doesn't need layers of styling to feel really special. At my venue, Offly Place, we're surrounded with 27 acres of parkland, which is a beautiful backdrop in the spring, summertime, but also in the late autumn, winter, because we have so many evergreen trees. This means that you can use the grounds as the perfect, timeless background for your photos without having to add anything at all. You will also see these peaceful, stunning views all throughout the venue, which adds such an elegant and natural charm. Not only does this reduce waste, it also helps your wedding feel a lot more timeless and elegant. Let your surroundings set the tone and focus your energy on complementing what's already there, rather than trying to cover anything up. Conscious menu. Curate a conscious menu that feels abundant. Luxury is not about excess, it's about excellence. And when it comes to your wedding menu, one of the most thoughtful decisions that you can make is to prioritize seasonal, local produce. The results are dishes that feel fresher and more elevated and are deeply tied to the season and to the location of your wedding. Okay, so we do have to mention plant-based menu options, but do not worry, I'm not suggesting you go fully vegan unless, of course, you want to, but making plants the hero of some of your dishes can have such a positive impact. So think vibrant, creative, vegetarian. What I'm talking about is celebrating rich local flavors in a starter, for example, or creating some gorgeous plant-based canapes. Swap out any imported, out-of-season fruits for a beautiful local variety or unexpected savory desserts. This is especially striking at tastings and plated service weddings where every element on the plate is curated. If you're already thinking, right, this sounds great, but I have absolutely no idea where to start, this is where your caterer comes in. Your caterer can 100% do this for you. And these days there are some amazing sustainable caterers that have so much additional insight. So I'd recommend looking for one that fits with your own personal values. This is always a question that you can ask your caterers before you book them for your wedding day, if it is something that's really important to you. But you can also have a look on their socials. A lot of them will be really vocal about it from the start. When it comes to your wedding drinks, I love adding refillable water stations to outdoor areas. They can be infused with some beautiful flavors as well. This is going to keep your guests hydrated throughout the day, which, let's face it, has more benefits than one, and it will also take the pressure off your bar team because you're not going to have all these guests queuing up just to get a glass of water. And then you can customize the flavors to suit your own taste really easily. Now, as for alcohol, there are some amazing options for local wines and beers in the UK right now, and even really beautiful English sparkling wines instead of champagne or prosecco, which taste amazing. So these could be a really lovely option to reduce your impact that little bit more and serve something a little different. These are not only really on trend at the moment, but they can also be such a fun talking point for your reception too. Sustainable bridal style. When it comes to your wedding outfit, let's be real, this is one of the most exciting parts of the whole planning process. But it's also an area where you can make some really meaningful and sustainable choices and, crucially, not sacrifice on style. One great place to start is to consider pre-loved or sample sale dresses. You might be surprised at what you can find, and it's a lovely way to stretch your budget a little bit further and potentially access designers that may have been quite out of reach if you were buying brand new. It's definitely worth exploring as an option, especially if you're looking for something that's a little bit more unique or something that's special and still fits in with your vision. Another really elegant option is to go vintage. I've seen a lot of gorgeous options for vintage wedding dresses, and it immediately makes it so unique and so special. I also love the idea of taking a dress that's been passed down through your family, but obviously this only works for a few of us. I actually had my mum's old wedding dress, which is very Princess Diana sort of feel, and I even got to try it on before my wedding, but she just did not love the idea of me cutting it up or customizing a bit. So that just wasn't a viable option for me. So if a treasured gown, like in my case, isn't an option, go hunting through the vintage shops and look through websites that just focus on vintage wedding dresses. You'll be so surprised at what gems you can find. Now, another element that I personally did with my wedding accessories, and I would honestly recommend to absolutely everyone, is to invest in pieces that you will actually wear again. Weddings can get so expensive, especially when it comes to your accessories, so why not choose items that won't sit in a box for ages after the big day? For example, I chose gold René Calvilla shoes for my wedding day at Offley Place instead of more traditional white ones, and they've become my go-to event shoes ever since, and I love being reminded of my wedding day when I wear them. So don't think that just because it's a wedding that you need to wear white when it comes to your accessories. This is the part where you can really make it your own, and you will love getting wear out of your wedding day pieces, just as I do with my gold shoes. Now for you, whether that's investing in designer shoes or really special jewelry that you'll rewear, or opting for a two-piece or convertible dress, longevity is key. On that note though, it can be such a lovely touch to borrow accessories from a loved one and to have a little piece of them there with you, and of course it is so much more sustainable. So for this, think your veil, your jewelry, or any other accessories can be a really lovely option for this. My best friend lent me her gorgeous Van Cleef bracelet on my wedding day as such a heartfelt gesture. It meant so much to me, and it also worked really well as my something borrowed. Another option is to use apps like Her or By Rotation to rent your accessories for the day. Just like going secondhand, this gives you access to so many more options that might have been a little bit out of your budget. I actually rented my bag for my Offley Place wedding day because I loved the look of the Cult Gaia EOS clutch bag and thought it worked so well with my dress, but I just knew that I wouldn't get much use from it after my wedding. These rental platforms now offer everything from bridal accessories to after party looks, so definitely check them out. And finally, if you know you will never wear your dress or accessories again and you've already bought them, consider selling them on or donating them to someone else after. Passing them on to someone else is a beautiful way to extend their life and let them be part of another bride's special day. So when it comes to bridal style, there are lots of ways to build a really strong capsule bridal wardrobe that is still super sustainable and feels really indulgent. Eco-chic decor. Let's talk wedding decor, because this is one of the most exciting parts of your wedding design, where you can let your personality really shine through while still making really sustainable choices. Once again, renting is your best friend when it comes to decor. I know so many people who've been left with hundreds of plates, candlesticks, or even tablecloths after their wedding day that they were convinced that they needed to buy, but these are only going to end up gathering dust in your attic afterwards. It is far more sustainable to rent wherever you can, and it leaves you with a lot less clutter after the wedding. If you are going to buy new things, it can be useful to take a moment and think about how you might use them after the wedding. For example, if you do choose you want to invest in linens for your wedding tables, would you keep them at home to use? Can they be repurposed in some kind of way? These are really important questions before you make any purchases. Vintage pieces are also another great option. Beautiful tea sets, dishes, silverware, candlesticks. Vintage seating and furniture can also actually be rented, and it can add a really personal feel if you want to upgrade your ceremony seating. Then there is just going natural, and this doesn't have to mean rustic. Think seasonal fruit as placeholders, dried flowers, potted plants, organic fans, seasonal greenery, and local blooms. One of my favorite ideas that I've seen was a bride who dried the petals from every bouquet that her fiance gave her during the year of their engagement and used them as confetti on their wedding day. How sweet is that? When it comes to your flowers, try and reuse them throughout the day. Ceremony florals can also become top table decor, or bridesmaids bouquets can be repurposed into vases for reception centerpieces. It's practical, it's sustainable, and it helps everything feel beautifully cohesive. Quality over quantity. Now here is the golden rule that pulls everything together. Focus on quality over quantity. The best weddings, the truly luxurious ones, are never the ones with the most things. They're the ones where every detail has been chosen with care and with intention. A minimalist approach naturally cuts down on so much waste, and it's often the most timeless and elegant aesthetic that you can go for. So whether it's your florals, your stationery, your styling, or even your fashion, let each piece speak for itself and skip all the filler. It'll save your budget, stress, and you'll be doing the planet a favor in the process. So those are some of the biggest ways to make your wedding feel sustainable without compromising on luxury, from the venue to the food to your bridal look and the overall design aesthetic. I hope this gives you some ideas and some inspiration to think about how you can bring sustainability into your own celebration without ever losing that elevated, elegant feel that you love. And this is just part one. In part two of the Sustainable Luxury Wedding Guide, we'll be looking at everything from guest travel, bridal party dresses, guest dress codes, sustainable gifting ideas, and some beautifully curated final touches that you will not want to miss. So if you're not already subscribed, now is the time. If you found this helpful, give it a like and let me know in the comments below. It means so much. And let me know what ideas you're taking away from today, or if you have any extra ones that you'd like to add. I would love to hear them. You can also follow me over on Instagram at the.curated.wedding for more daily tips and inspiration. And do not forget to sign up for my monthly newsletter through the link in the description, where I'm going to share all of my favorite finds, trends, and supplies with you each month. Until next time, happy planning.